Hey, what's going on there, guys? Welcome to this very special edition of the Main Event Talk. My name is Furman Torres, aka the Main Event Player. Now, this edition of the Main Event Talk, I'm kind of going to step off of the whole wrestling deal that I always do every time when I appear on my show. This one is a very special edition of the Main Event Talk, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And before the main event gets right into it, I just want to say and wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day for everyone that's watching the show right now, and to everyone over at Theos Billiards. This one is for you guys. You know, I've been waiting a long time for this moment, and you know, I didn't think I would ever come to this point until today. You know. Everyone's been wondering about the number 10, the whole number 10 deal, 2/14/13. Why does that date bring up so much? Why is it important to me? Because, guys, today is the 10th anniversary of the debut of the main event. That's right. I've been going to Theos Billiards for well over 10 years. And been hell-raising and drinking and taking shots since then. You know, 10 years ago, I was at a place called Q's back in the day. It used to be called the Old Buckets downtown. I was actually one of its regulars. And there was a beautiful waitress over there named Brandy, who's watching this show right now. She had worked at Q's for quite a while and had left. And had told me to come over to a place called Theos. I don't work over at Q's anymore, and I wanted to go ahead and, you know, bring you along. And, you know, I pretty much established Q's and everything, so I wanted to give Theos a test. So, sure enough, my debut would happen on February 14, 2003, where it all started. It was a Friday night, Valentine's Day. I remember I was hanging out with my friend Mom, and I was getting a bunch of Valentine's stuff ready for her. You know, bought the whole bag and flowers and candy and all that good stuff. I even bought her a big Stitch doll, because you ever heard of that movie Lilo and Stitch? Well, I would buy her this Stitch doll, you know, that bought them all, and you know, she liked it a whole lot. And you know, when I got to Theos, it was okay. I mean, it's not how it is now. But you know, eventually in time, you know, I would start to get used to the place, and even though I was, you know, starting off at Theos from the very beginning of 2003, I was still going to Q's. And at that point in time, there were a lot of great things that happened at Q's, but unfortunately in the end of 2003, a lot of bad things were happening in that place. A lot of, I would say, controversy, a lot of money being exchanged, and a bunch of other bullshit. It's a very long story, but in the end, Q's would eventually go out of business in 2003, and then would turn into a nightclub, and then turn into a gay club, and then would go back to Q's, and then a few years later would be out of business. And the main event will be hanging out at Theos every single night. And I've been there since then, and right here in my show, I just want to personally thank Brandy for bringing the main event over to Theos. If it wasn't for you, Brandy, I'd probably be going to some other different bar. And I thank you for bringing me to Theos. You know, over the years, you know, I've always had a love for Theos. You know, I like Murdoch's, and I like Jameson's, and, you know, I like McCall's and all the other places. But Theos has always been my bar. It'll always and forever be my bar. When you walk in there, the only thing you'll hear, I mean, you'll automatically hear the name Furman Torres. You always automatically hear the name, the main event. The jukebox would always be taken over by me. There have been times where I go to the jukebox and I would go ahead and put like 10, 20. The highest I've ever gone is, this is the truth, $80 in the jukebox. Oh yeah, I would put in nothing but complete metal. And there have been times where I go ahead and, you know, put in stuff like, oh, I don't know, little Jay-Z, little Rihanna, little this and that. Kind of freak people out a little bit, you know. They'd be like, Furman, what the fuck are you putting this music on for? And I'd be like, see all these women around you? Shit, it's all on me. But, you know, Eventually, well, I hadn't really messed with the jukebox that long, but there's been a lot of tremendous events that took place over at Theos. Everything from their Super Bowl events to their Halloween events to their New Year's, Christmas Eve events. Hell, they've even had some of their biggest shows over there, including bands like Shattered Sun. Dima had played there. Taproot had played there. Saliva, Killamora, Texas Hate Machine. I believe I mentioned Shattered Sun's name. And of course, the reuniting of Free State. But, and this one I want to give to all of you because, you know, we can all agree on this. No matter what, Theos is always going to be a badass place. But the true headliners that have always ran Theos, besides the main event, has always been the Periwinkle Massacre. That's right. Even though Periwinkle Massacre is no longer around anymore, they will always and forever will be the headliners for Theos Billiards. That's the truth. You know, it's the way it goes. It's how it is. Hector, greatest singer of all time. Mondo, one of the best rappers, best artists on the planet. John Luna, the best drummer on the planet. Let's see, Matt Vingora, Mike Rod, Joe Aguilar, the greatest artists of all time. And there's going to be probably a lot more bands coming over to Theos Billiards. And my suggestion, and Theos, if you're watching this, if you're going to bring any band over besides Free State, I got one suggestion, just one. I'm not sure if it's going to ring through, and I'm not sure if it's going to be pulled in all over the place. Well, actually, there's two bands in particular that I want to see at Theos. One is Straight Line Stitch. We got to see Straight Line Stitch at Theos. Because last time when they came over to Corpus, they were over at Clicks. And I'll tell you something. Disappointment. And I guarantee you, if we bring that band over to Theos, we'll fill that place up. We'll bring it up to capacity. And we will bring Straight Line Stitch back to Corpus for a second, third, hell, even a fourth time if we could. Richard, watch this, my friend. Watch it. And then I think another band in particular that I would like to see over there is it's a metal band. I can't put their name together. I think it's called a Legion or Legend or however it goes. It's a band from Metal Blade Records. They are an awesome band. Most of the band are followers on Twitter and friends of mine on Facebook. I would like to see that band come over there too. That's a big suggestion to you, Richard, and to everyone at Theos. And to end the show, and I'm going to end it right. I have loved the living hell out of Theos. And personal note, I want to say thank you, not just to Brandy for bringing me to Theos, but I want to thank Theos Billiards themselves. Theos Bar. You guys I've always been the one that have always promoted Theos. I've always brought Theos' attention every time on Facebook. I would do the same thing on Twitter, do the same thing on Instagram. I've been a part of many of their events. I've been a part of many of their shows. Even their UFC events are even badass. So for those of you that are watching this, on behalf of the main event, I would like to personally say thank you to Theos Billiards for 10 years of the main event hell-raising at Theos Billiards. I thank Theos Billiards. I thank Doug. I thank Richard, a member of Team Headbanger Incorporated. I thank you. I also thank Roxanne and Rachel. I thank you guys for bringing me to the main event, bringing me to Theos as well. I thank all of the past, present, and future bartenders. To every single waitress, from Jasmine Ortiz, who's probably watching this as well, to Sabrina, who's watching this, to Brandy, who worked there, and to others that have worked over there too, to every single cool bartender that had ever worked there, whether it was Brian Sherman, Eric Wendell, Johnny Black, to Bruce, to everyone over there at Theos Billiards. The main event says to you, thank you. Thank you for 10 years of Theos. Thank you for every shot, every drink, everything that I've ever done. And here, in 2013, the main event will do even more in 2013. 10 more years, who knows? The main event could be walking with his walker and so forth. you know, asking for another Michelob Ultra, another Jaeger bomb. Because that's my poison of choice. And that's how it goes. So Theos, I want to say thank you. Thank you for 10 years. And tonight, the main event returns. And we're going to do this shit one more time. Why? And I got to do the line for you guys. Because I can and I want to. Any questions? Enough said. Thank you, Theos. I'll see you tonight.